Ziggity Zig, back with a Friday Faff. Is a game sent to me by that guy Griff by Ziggity Zig. That doesn't make any sense. And it was up against a player called OkYdOkY. I could not resist playing this game. Oh, wait a minute. Let's just zoom out. There we go. Now we can see everything. We can see OkYdOkY's entire base over here on Belshire Vestige. There we go. So the good luck coming out from both. I'm just making fun of the fact that I never remember what the names of the maps are, but there it is right there where I'm underlining. Right there. Do you see it? Do you see it right there? Focus in on the green arrow. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Yeah, okay, you see it. Anyway, so this is a PvP on Belshire Vestige, and here is Griff gonna start up with some pylon. There it goes. Awesome, and looks like OkYdOkY's gonna do approximately the same. So there's both there. Initial pylon activated. There's the production tab up there. Here is the worker supply tab. There's absolutely nothing going on whatsoever, except for the fact that OkYdOkY is going mad, ridiculous, stonky stonk on his EPM. Cool. Not interested. I don't really care. Immediately looking and checking out. Oh my god! It's been a minute 30. We really need to check out just to make sure that there's no zealot rush is going on. Because when you do a zealot rush, you do it right at the bottom of the ramp, right? Am I right? In Silver League, that's what I'm talking about. So there he goes. So OkYdOkY is possibly more paranoid than I am. Griff deciding, yeah, paranoid, whatever. Griff decides to check out the remains of his base after he comes down here, crosses over. Look at this. Whoa, slowly drawing an X across the middle of the map. Look at him go. That's pretty cool. And he's gonna come down here and find out what is happening down here in OkYdOkY's base, and what he's going to find out is it is a gateway, and once he realizes it as a gateway, he is going to get bored and say, alright, gateway, that probably just means he's going to make, I don't know, units. So there you go, workers of the world untie, and Griff is then going to head straight back home, find out how many gassies is going on. Why am I talking like the gassy and the happy haps? I do not understand. Getting the second pylon down to have enough supply to continue on with worker production at the same time speeding out the cybernetics core. Griff seeing that OkYdOkY is working on 2 gas at the moment, which is kind of curious. I'm not really sure why. Cybernetics core is actually a little bit later than Griff's right now. Griff's on 3 of 3, and OkYdOkY going for pretty late 4 workers in the gas, which is kind of an odd build, but I assume this is probably going towards a little bit more tech. Could be, well, really on this kind of base, you wouldn't really have too much luck blink stalker wise, because it is pretty round. You could go up here, but I think probably a robo, because robo Stargate is what most players are going for right now. Griff deciding on the sneaky sneaks and manages to get a sneaky pylon, and then runs the probe away to be even sneakier. Still not much in the way of giveaway tech up here in Griff's base. Both players now working on some warp gate. OkYdOkY going for the very early super paranoia. Oh yeah, the paranoia in this guy is very, very strong. Oh, paranoia is strong with this one. And so he's just moving all over his base with a bunch of zealots. Griff deciding to come in here, and there's going to be a little bit of a meeting here where the 2 zealots are going to say, just go on. The problem is that this zealot is backed up by a very large floating orb in the sky. Just going to take out even before Griff gets to come in here and see what's going on, but all he does see is pretty much all that he knew, and no kills. So it looks like it's going to be a robotics facility up here for OkYdOkY. Meanwhile, Griff is just going to go for a standard 3-gate opening, just trying to get a few units out there. Does manage to move down that one zealot. It almost looks like Griff is getting set up to do a 4-gate, but it might just be a 3-gate. This is kind of a popular build these days, is just a 3-gate pressure, sometimes 3-gate with the mothership core, and that way you can recall back, find out what he's got, and then do something about it. So continuing to be completely overly paranoid about everything, and I do think, can OkYdOkY see this? No, it does not quite see. The paranoia does not set in, but now it's going to be 2 stalkers versus 1, and these 2 stalkers might be able to take care of the stalker, but the problem is that they are now going to be up against this mothership core, which is quickly advancing up the way, but OkYdOkY, despite all the paranoia, does not know that there is a forward pylon right here, and Griff, despite the fact that Griff could probably do something about this, Griff actually, moves in, and the mothership core is now revealed, which it doesn't really matter, because, you're going to make a mothership core unless you're playing against Ziggity Zig, in which case you never really know when the mothership core is going to come out, if at all. Could still win despite that. So there we go. The forward pylon does throw down a number of units, and here they all come, and all these 3 zealots are just running straight past the immortal. Where's your A move, bro? Do you even A move? Meanwhile, there's a little bit of shenanigan and chicanery going on up here at the top, and pretty bad news there for these 3 zealots who are coming in here, who just in time to run into the base and do a little bit of damage. They run across the recalling units, including a number of zealots, stalkers, and a few units just there. But they do manage to kill 4 workers precisely. And moving on, Griff now kind of not really paying much attention to what's going on back in his base, not a whole lot of production going on, just continuing on with the forward momentum, despite the fact that he definitely has enough to get down a 4th building, possibly even an expand behind this. But he's just deciding to go on for a full-on push. You can tell by his EPM, which is up there in the high 60s, the two players right now. Griff deciding that if you attack with a small army, the best thing to do is attack a small number of them at a time. So these first 2 zealots are going to come in, take some hits. A couple of this one stalker is going to sit back here and not actually do anything. Luckily, we saved the big guns for coming in last, so these sentries are going to come in up against these immortals and just, clean up everything, and everything's going to go just fine from there. Now, the only problem here is that we now have a lot of units that can kind of shoot upward, but not so much, and this Mothership Core I don't think is going to make it very far, but it looks like Griff is now going to manage to move in another few units that are not exactly the strongest up against immortals. If you know that immortals can blow up or just regular stalkers or blink stalkers pretty quickly, then you probably want to warp in a number more stalkers. But now at this point, the army supply is definitely in OkYdOkY's favor. However, the income I think is, the gas income is a little bit more in Griff's favor. So for whatever reason, still just 4 there, but Griff is now going to be on all 6. So OkYdOkY did not really merge out of that and is still doing a pretty standard 3-gate robo play. Not really interested in getting another Mothership Core, so this is going to be a very ground-heavy army that cannot shoot up, with the possible exception of 2 stalkers. I believe this is OkYdOkY's probe is going to come out here and make just a reinforced pylon on its way down here. This Mothership Core is not really going to be all that handy, and now it does seem like Griff could use a number of other gateways, and it looks like that is going to be the case. He's going to go full-on 6 gateway. There's a 6th one right there. It just did not happen all at once, but he's definitely behind on the army supply. But once that 6 gateway comes up, probably be able to do something about this. And in fact, going up against these immortals and zealots, I think the best thing to do would probably possibly making a Stargate to combat these units, or just sort of relying on a fair amount of just brute force and trying to get through here. But it looks like OkYdOkY is attempting to move in for the kill with a small army supply, but not so much of a worker supply. The income is certainly still a little bit in Griff's favor. Both players managing to keep their income and minerals and gas down, but now Griff does have a little bit of an advantage, as he is at the top of this ramp that he can just continually force field while he waits for several units to come in. And what he's done down here is, if you probably did or did not notice, I certainly didn't, was he goes for the rope-a-dope, move back around, send in all the zealots and see what happens there. And of course OkYdOkY decides, oh no, wait, I'm not going to bother with oh no, he does not bother with the base race, despite the fact that this Nexus is probably going to take care of things all on its own. No, these zealots do seem to survive that entire thing. So what's going on right now is we are at 25 workers killed for these units. No production happening at the moment. And OkYdOkY's base is on his army is on their way back, and they're trying to take this out. But now, if you can see by the income level now, is that it is not, when you move out quite that far, probably would have been a good idea to have a second base in behind that. Meantime, I don't think, getting up towards 80, and no, not enough to get anything out of a Nexus, and so OkYdOkY is now 1 Nexus short of a base, and meanwhile just has these few units here. Griff still trying to just make a few units back at his main base, all the while, despite moving in a few more zealots, realizing that yes, it's probably going to happen that OkYdOkY is going to run out of his base yet again. So again, here come these zealots on their way back into the base just to clean up what is left, possibly take out another pylon or 2. It does appear like the army supply, it is effectively in a dead heat. Griff deciding to just run back and forth down here, waiting for a few more units. Meanwhile, OkYdOkY is just trying to recalibrate himself. Everything is revealed on the map for Griff, so he can actually take out some of these units. He does walk a little bit too close back to this, so that OkYdOkY does know that he's on his way here. And oh dear, this one probe, the one final member, and they do actually pass by each other, so there you go. And now OkYdOkY knows that he is being attacked from behind by these units, but with these air striking units up here, it's definitely not going to do all that much use anymore. These 4 zealots are probably not going to last very long, but they are going to get chased down by a number of OkYdOkY's army until OkYdOkY decides to just continue on moving up this way with only 1 active worker at the moment. OkYdOkY moves down just to sort of hang out with that guy Griff's probe down here. It is the battle of the time warps and the guardian shields, the air units versus the non-air units, and just seeing how much damage can be done. OkYdOkY cutting off that guy Griff here on the ramp. That guy Griff cleverly deciding not to engage on the ramp itself. Now would be a good time to get in here and clamp down a few of these units. They pick off a few straggling units just at the bottom of the ramp. The only thing that is happening here is that there is no way that OkYdOkY can actually reinforce an army, and what's left of OkYdOkY's base is about to be taken out by these 4 zealots that have absolutely nothing stopping them from coming in here and just ruining the rest of these pylons. So OkYdOkY is trying to come up this ramp, trying to take out the remainder of this army, but Griff with a pretty sweet little force field right there, cutting off the army in half, getting the photon overcharge there. These zealots are getting some work done here. They're just kind of, I don't think Griff's even paying attention to them down there anymore, and just moving towards it. And it does look like, if you look at the units killed and the units lost, there are the resources lost and the units lost are actually quite similar for the moment, because the problem there is that OkYdOkY has then now finally decided to get out of there, despite the fact of barely making it up that ramp and then failing to do anything about that. That was quite a back and forth. I'm very excited. I really would have liked to have seen what would happen if he hadn't bothered coming back to watch his base be ruined. I don't know about that. So that's always the fact. When you move out, Griff's going to send zealots to your base. That's just what's going to happen. So leave me a comment down below. Send me an email, ziggityzig@gmail.com. You can send me an amusing replay of any kind. Send me something funny, something hilarious, send me something unexpected. You can also follow me on Twitter @ziggityzig. That was the Friday Faff. Stay tuned.